Sections 22.1 to 22.4. Confession. 22.1. A lawful oath is part of religious worship, wherein, upon just occasion, the person swearing solemnly calleth God to witness what he asserteth, or promiseth, and to judge him according to the truth or falsehood of what he sweareth. 22.2. The name of God only is that by which men ought to swear, and therein it is to be used with all holy fear and reverence. Therefore, to swear vainly, or rashly, by that glorious and dreadful name, or, to swear at all by any other thing, is sinful, and to be abhorred. Yet, as in matters of weight and moment, an oath is warranted by the word of God, under the New Testament as well as under the Old, so a lawful oath, being imposed by lawful authority, in such matters, ought to be taken. 22.3. Whosoever taketh an oath ought duly to consider the weightiness of so solemn an act, and therein to avouch nothing but what he is fully persuaded is the truth. Neither may any man bind himself by oath to anything but what is good and just, and what he believeth so to be, and what he is able and resolved to perform. 22.4. An oath is to be taken in the plain and common sense of the words, without equivocation, or mental reservation. It cannot oblige to sin, but in anything not sinful, being taken, it binds to performance, although to a man's own hurt. Nor is it to be violated, although made to heretics, or infidels. Introduction. These sections of the confession teach us, 1. The nature of a lawful oath, 2. The only name in which it is lawful to swear, 3. The propriety and duty of taking oaths upon proper occasions, 4. The sense in which an oath is to be interpreted, and 5. The extent to and ground upon which it has binding obligation. Questions. 1. What interpretation is sometimes given to Matthew 5 verses 33 to 37? 2. What is the correct interpretation of this passage? 3. Did Jesus say that swearing is evil? If not, what did he say exactly? 4. What was the common error of the Jews with respect to oaths? 5. What proof can you give to show that oaths are legitimate? 6. What is perjury? 7. What doctrines does a Presbyterian minister swear to maintain and to defend? Give a few examples. 8. Of what are Presbyterian ministers guilty when they do not believe the doctrines contained in the Confession of Faith? 9. Should one keep an oath if he later discovers that he has promised what is contrary to the Word of God? Why? 10. Should one keep an oath if he later discovers that it will inconvenience him? Sections 22.5 to 22.7. Confession. 22.5. A vow is of the like nature with a promissory oath, and ought to be made with the like religious care, and to be performed with the like faithfulness. 22.6. It is not to be made to any creature, but to God alone, and, that it may be accepted, it is to be made voluntarily, out of faith, and conscience of duty, in way of thankfulness for mercy received, or for the obtaining of what we want, whereby we more strictly bind ourselves to necessary duties, or to other things, so far and so long as they may fitly conduce thereunto. 22.7. No man may vow to do anything forbidden in the Word of God, or what would hinder any duty therein commanded, or which is not in his own power, and for the performance whereof he hath no promise of ability from God. In which respects, popish monastical vows of perpetual single life, professed poverty, and regular obedience, are so far from being degrees of higher perfection, that they are superstitious and sinful snares, in which no Christian may entangle himself. Introduction. These sections of the confession teach us, 1. That a vow is similar to an oath, 2. That a vow is made to God alone, 3. That it must be made voluntarily, out of faith and conscience of duty, by way of thankfulness for mercy received, or for the obtaining of what we want. 4. That it binds us to duty. 5. That it is to be made only for that which is according to the word of God. And 6. That Roman Catholic vows of celibacy, poverty, and obedience are contrary to the word of God. Questions. 1. What is the difference between an oath and a vow? 2. In what way are they similar? 3. Prove that vows are not contrary to the will of God. 4. What vow is required of a Christian? What is promised in the same? 5. Give an example of an unscriptural vow common in Roman Catholicism. 6. Give an example of an unscriptural vow common in Protestantism. 7. Why is it wrong to induce children to make vows? 8. Are children ever bound by the vows of their parents?